Hey guys, it's me Evelyn, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make this angst, but not too dark, yet not too bright type of poster. This was requested and I did my best to try to make it different. I'm only going to use one person as the image, and I use screen caps for music videos. You can use photos if you want, and we're going to go ahead and create this poster here. So let's get started. So first you're going to need a new document. So we're going to go to File, New. And you create your document whatever size you seem fit, or whatever size you want to make your poster. I make mine 500 by 600. And resolution, I usually do big resolutions just because I like to, but you can always stick with the 72, and I use transparent color as background. So now you have that, you're going to want to fill your background with a solid light gray color, which mine says F1E FEE. And I just use my paint bucket tool and fill it in. Next, you want to select a gradient to put on top of it. So we're going to go to Layer, New Fill Layer, Gradient, Gradient Fill 1, or you can name it whatever you want, and click OK. And then we're going to select Black to White. You want to change the black to a very light blue, like a sky blue, about something like this here, and your white to a gray, of a light gray. Then you're going to change, you're going to click OK, and then you're going to change the style to radial, and then you leave this at 90, and you're going to change the scale to 150 and flip to reverse so that the white is mostly in the middle. And lower the opacity so it's not so bright. As you can see, we have something like this here. Next, we're going to add a pattern, a dotted pattern. Now, if you don't have a dot pattern, you can just search DeviantArt for patterns and just select a pixelated dot pattern. It's very easy to search for. Go to your circle FX and click pattern, and you're going to select a dot pattern like this here. And actually, I'll make this into a pattern and link it in the down bar as an image. You guys can go ahead and use it as well. And we're going to set this to soft light. As you see, it's very bright. We want to lower it down, so we're going to change our fill to 73. Too bright, maybe to 23. Something like this here. So next, you're going to want to go ahead and add a cloud background. You can search those on Google, which I can show you guys right here. And you're just going to go ahead and find one that you like this one here. And we're going to right click, and we're going to copy image, go to Photoshop and paste it. And if it doesn't have a duplicate, or it's not big, you can always just hold Alt with your move tool selected and duplicate it. Then go to image, or edit, transform and flip vertical, so that we have this here. Right, merge your layers and set it to soft light like so, and you have this nice little cloud background. So now you want to go ahead and get some textures. I suggest looking for paper textures, and what we're going to do is we're going to drag in a paper banner. It's just something right here. It's like a notebook. You're just going to click and move it on, and if yours comes vertical, you just go to edit, transform, rotate 90. Bring it on top, and then set it to color burn. And we have this here. Now if yours has a little line from like the image, if it's dark, you just use a layer mask and just kind of paint on there with black to delete from that, like so. Next, you're going to want to go ahead and add a grunge background. I don't have any. I do have grunge textures, but not like black and white ones. You can just search DeviantArt for these grunge backgrounds. This is where I downloaded it from, and it actually gives you the name right here if you want to go ahead and just read it. I made mine black and white, so image adjustments, desaturate, image adjustments, and I did a brightness and contrast, and I brightened my texture, and then I contrasted it a little bit to give it more, the darkness would be, the lines would darken. image, and then I'm going to rotate it by 90. So we have this here. Then we're dragging onto my texture. As you see, it's not very big. You're going to Control T to transform it and just scale it like so, and then lock the chain link so that it will stay in proportion with its actual size. And we're going to also set this to soft light, and it gives it a nice grunge feel to it, as you can see. And lastly, for the last texture, you want to use a stock photo. I have a video in my videos in my on my channel where I get my stock photos from, and you want to drag in a stock photo of your choosing. I am going to use a window, which is this one here. I'm going to just click and drag it into Photoshop, then drag it onto my image here, and I'm going to drag it right on top and set it to soft light, or let's see, color burn will look good. As you can see, we have a little line here at the bottom. We're going to add a layer mask, grabbing our brush tool, have it a bit bigger, make sure that it's a fluffy brush, hardness is 0, and we're just going to paint black onto the layer mask where the line meets so that it will fade in. Now it's time to drag in your photos of the person you want. So I'm going to go ahead and into my folder, my downloads, because I saved these two. They're of Hyun-a from the Love Tension music video. They're screen caps. And what I do is I drag the first image, which is a face, and I just dragged it onto my here, and I've just pulled it to the side like so. And what I did was I added a layer mask, and I used my round brush tool, and I just erased from her like so. And if I erased much from the face, I made my brush tool smaller with the bracket keys, flipped the color to white with X, and just painted in so that we had this here. Now for the next photo, I did it on its layer. I'm double click and unlock the layer, add a layer mask, round brush tool, make it big using black, and then we're just going to delete the background like so. So we have something like this here. And then we're just going to drag it onto our image, and we have it set right about here. And I see it's not perfect, so you can always fix it by on the layer mask deleting from your image like so, and then using white to bring back in what you want to stay. Now we're going to go ahead and do a coloring. I just dragged in a PSD, so I'm just going to go ahead and drag it back in the same one. PSD is created by La Cher Swagona, and we're just going to just move the coloring onto the image like so, and it gives a nice coloring. Lastly, texture, which I use, not texture, but text tool, which I use the font Joe Wrote a Love Song, and I just typed in the word gone and just made the font big. Not so big, but big enough. And tilt it a little bit by holding Control and just moving my mouse tool while clicking or holding down my mouse tool. Then I'm just going to change the color to a dark gray. And you're done. I hope you guys like this tutorial. It's very simple, very sweet. It's sad, but not too dark and not too bright. So once again, I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Comment, rate, and subscribe.